between now and the end of the year, I'm looking at doing a couple of different wrap-up videos. Maybe top 5 news stories, top 5 video game-related stories, movie-related stories. I don't quite know exactly how I'm going to approach this year-end stuff. I'm not going to do the 2.5-hour-long video that nobody watched last year. Still not bitter about that at all whatsoever. No, wasting hours and hours of my day for like a dozen people to watch it. No, I'm not upset by that at all whatsoever. But taking a look at the wider landscape of things, just really trying to refresh my memory as to what we were dealing with this year, and specifically when it comes to TV shows. Holy crap, there were a litany of bad ones this year, and well, if we're looking at bad TV shows, we might as well find a bad ranking. And bro, a Games Radar has one of the worst that I have ever seen. Now, to be completely honest, I haven't watched or heard a lot of the a lot of the shows that are on this list. They just simply go by reputation alone. And bro, strap in, because you aren't ready for how bad this is going to get. So the top 25 best TV shows, according to Emily Murray and the Games Radar staff. Somehow, the sound of Santa Claus approaching on his sleigh means that 2024 is drawing to a close. Yeah, that's probably the most true thing that we're going to come across in this entire article, but can't believe how quickly this year has gone by. It's been absolutely insane. It's been a lot of fun, but holy Christ, I can't believe we're but a couple of days removed from Christmas, and also, just a few more days from that to the end of 2020, or to the end of 2024, coming up on 2025. It's going to be like the first few months of next year is going to be insane. You got Trump's inauguration, then you got all of those disasters coming to the box office and into the gaming space in February. Oofda, it's going to be something. It's going to be something. Enjoy the holiday season. That's just what I'm saying right now. It's a perfect time to close the year to reflect on the past 12 months, which has gifted us with plenty of brilliant TV shows. Brilliant? Yeah, I don't really know. Some of it's been touch and go, that have entertained us for hours on end, from unexpected treasures such as an 80s romp fest to returning sci-fi favorites and electric video game adaptations to fun anime adventures. It's been quite the year for TV in 2024, delivering an incredible mix of shows. So, let's take a look at what they have here. Okay, starting off at 25, Invincible Season 2, which is interesting because I heard quite a lot about the first season of Invincible. Oh, this is Season 2, Part 2, so conclusion of Part 2. Yeah, see, that's the thing, because you couldn't escape the discussion when this was first coming out, I think in 2021, but I heard a jack shit about Season 2, okay? Year began with constant grumbles about Invincible's second season. Having been split into two, fans had waited impatiently for the next step of Mark Grayson's high-flying adventure. Thankfully, the 4 episodes we did get this year certainly delivered. Hot on the heels of the reveals of the father's new child at the planet of Thraxis, the second part of Season 2 marked the moment Mark was finally able to strike out on his own. You're supposed to be a professional outlet. Why would you let that type of grammatical nonsense slide? Unbelievable. And then right after that, this is when the brain cancer sits in. Okay, House of the Dragon Season 2, 24th. I mean, what are you talking about? Yeah, it was a bit of a step down from Season 1, I'll admit, but paying attention to the TV space, arguably more than anything else when it comes to media. Maybe gaming comes in a close second, but me, like, outside of the content that I produce online, I'm more or less immersed in just listening to TV reviews, because some of them are just so hilarious, and we've had quite a pick of insanity this year. But the one lone show that I was listening to reviews of that people were generally happy with, and the way that they were being reviewed, I would find to be quite amenable to my own personal tastes. Putting it at 24th, I mean, think of that what you will. I can't think of 23 other definitively better shows. Let's see the justification. Okay. Game of Thrones prequel House of the Dragon slowed down proceedings for Season 2. Oh, right, yeah, because Daemon didn't develop at all. He kneeled at the end of Season 1, and he was kneeling at the end of Season 2. See, it was all for naught. Oh, they started with war, and then they started with war. Oh, wow, see, nothing was accomplished in Season 2. Just absolute brainlets, man. It's just that was something else that 2024 really exposed, that people really are treating entertainment as Aldous Huxley referred to it as in Brave New World, just the feelies. Like, if they don't feel something, if they aren't visually stimulated, if they don't like it, they can't for 1 second take political intrigue and really glean something from that. They just need to constantly have their dopamine-riddled brains triggered with constant stimuli. Unbelievable. The season premiere featured a gut-wrenching twist. Yeah, that was actually better in the books. There were a couple of choices that could have been made with the blood and cheese situation that weren't made, and it was generally fumbled, and that was the first sign that, ooh, season 2 might not be as good as the genius that was season 1, which arguably, if you put it in the pantheon of all of the Game of Thrones seasons, I would put season 1 of House of the Dragon right below season 2 of Game of Thrones, which, yeah, the first season of Game of Thrones and the second season of Game of Thrones, and then after that, it just all starts to get a little bit muddy. But anyways, Emma D'Arcy and Olivia Cooke are still the cornerstones of the show. I mean, there's one that's right there that is definitely a cornerstone of the show, and Emma D'Arcy, yeah, Rhaenyra was super annoying this year, and she didn't really do all that much, especially she had one line in the first episode, which was very powerful and very well delivered, but cornerstone, I mean, she was really flumpy, and going forward, Olivia Cooke, it's gonna be tough to see how she's gonna play into the story, because in the source material, Alicent doesn't really do all that much after Viserys dies, so it's going to be interesting going forward. I'm still looking forward to season 3, and I'm definitely looking for it, and I can't believe this is coming up next. But the Dunk and Egg stories that are going to be told in the early parts of 2025, like, that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to that doesn't look to be a total disaster. Like, that it's going to be good. And then at 23, The Acolyte. Bro, not only is this is one of the worst TV shows that I have ever seen in my entire life, it is in no perceivable realm outside of checking the requisite number of diversity boxes. Should this be above House of the Dragon season 2? What are you talking about? Star Wars small screen efforts have been dynamic and exciting additions to the legendary saga. For somebody who makes a bold claim like that, tell me what was the plot of episode 3 of the Book of Boba Fett? What was Obi-Wan Kenobi doing before he got the call to adventure? And who gave him that call to adventure? Can you recall any of that stuff? But it was super dynamic and very exciting. Jumping back in time to the Golden Age, 150 years before the events of the Phantom Menace. Yes, the Acolyte charts the rise of darkness in the galaxy, culminating in Dark Sidious, aka Palpatine, the Emperor, dissolving the Republic and claiming absolute power for himself. Yeah, that has nothing to do with the Acolyte. Okay, because you got the tease of the of the Emperor's master there living in his goon cave. The Emperor has nothing to do with this. At its heart, though, The Acolyte is a story that is just so mangled in its delivery, you don't even really know what it's about. It's about two sisters who are equally reprehensible. One kills, or at least has a hand in murdering, 3 Jedis, and the other one force chokes one who saved her from a life of despair to death. Yeah, that's great. They're fantastic people. Number 22, Only Murderers in the Building Season 4. Hey, Martin Short and Steve Martin? Oh, that's pretty cool. A good cast that they have right there. Haven't heard a damn thing about this. No one knows quite why Martin Short, Steve Martin, and Selena Gomez work so well together. That's Wow. All right. Okay. Not even Only Murderers in the Building's creator, but 4 seasons in. Okay, I guess I just glossed over that, but that's the 4th season? Martin Short's in? Really? All right, then. Boys season 4. Oh, yeah, it was funny, right? Because SA against guys is funny, right? And you can own the chuds. See, our stories don't have to make sense. We can just own the chuds and get the 21st spot on Games Radar's top TV shows of the year list. Great. Batman Caped Crusader, bro, with Oswaldo Cobblepot, J.J. Abrams' lone production so far over at Warner Brothers that was so good they had to outsource it to Prime Video to put out. I guess that led to J.J. Abrams' big first look deal that he just signed with Warner Brothers. Again, it's like, what a stupid company. But that was batch released, I forget when, like the July or August or something like that, and nobody talked about it when it dropped. It's trash, bro. It's intersectional feminism, the show. I seen clips of this stuff because very few people talked about it. It was ugly women drinking coffee while Batman did a couple of bad things across 9 episodes of stuff. Trash. Absolute trash. Rivals. The blue hell is Rivals. An 80s set adaptation of Jilly Cooper's Rompfest Rivals starring David Tennant. Okay. Aidan Turner and Danny Dyer. Okay. Wasn't on our bingo card and ended up being one of the best shows of 2024. I legitimately haven't heard a damn thing about that. Dead Boy Detectives. Exactly the same thing that's on Netflix. It's crazy how much stuff is just out there that I've never heard of before in my entire life. Netflix giveth and taketh away. Now, the Dead Boy Detectives is a delightfully queer. Oh, okay, moving right along. Delicious in Dungeon. Oh my Christ. That's better than House of the Dragon, huh? Yeah, okay, cool. D&D style. Oh my God. Don't care. Yo, you serious, bro? Doctor Who Season 1. Doctor Who Season 1 in 16th spot. I reviewed just about every single damn episode of that. Did all of the ratings for it. And this thing was watched by nobody and was the most insufferable thing ever committed to screen this year. The fact 16, okay, 8 spots higher than House of the Dragon Season 2. You're out of your mind. The show being on shaky ground over the past few years, Doctor Who desperately needed new life injected into it. So yeah, well, they got it injected all right, anally. Ncuti Gatwa and showrunner Russell T Davies, who do exactly that, reminding us exactly why the long-running sci-fi series, oh yeah, exactly, so long-running that it hasn't been renewed for a 3rd season. And Disney's looking to back out of the deal that they signed for the 2 seasons. Agatha all along. Oh my God. That was another show that I heard reviewed and made 0 sense. I did videos on this, and yeah, the 6 perpetually online freaks that would just downvote any anti-Agatha content that was out there. That's another show. Like, I think it performed worse than Doctor Who. And it was just, like, it's just bad TV. Like, it's a stupid story, but the way that it's formatted and the way that the story is told, it is so stupid. It is incomprehensible slop. And the fact that it's 15th, yeah, just kind of lets you know why we're reviewing this awful top 25 list. Masters of the Air, I heard that this started strong and then eventually fell off a cliff. After Band of Brothers in the Pacific, Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg have proved a more brilliant World War II miniseries on the small screen. Masters of the Air was poised to be a success from the outset, telling the story of the Bloody 100th, aka the 100th Bomb Group. The show boasts stunning VFX and excellent performances, and a storyline that packs emotional punch after emotional punch. Sucks, man, because it sounds like that's right up my alley if it came to picking a TV series or even a miniseries like that, because yeah, you see Austin Butler, Callum Turner, Anthony Boyle, Nate Mann. You got some quality talent right there, but story falls off. Yeah, I ain't that interested. The Bear Season 3. Everybody's favorite show that I know exactly 0 about. I think it's about a restaurant. Like, that's literally all I know about this, but it's in its 3rd season and it's wildly successful. So, good, I guess. Supercell. Is this like a weird take on Frankenstein when a bolt of lightning hits the grave of George Floyd? Is that what we're doing here? Over the past years, there have been much discussion about superhero fatigue and the idea that audiences are getting bored with constantly seeing superpowered beings on their screen. British writer-director Rapman. Oh my God. Okay, so that one's obviously not made for me. And 11, The Penguin. Yo, for everybody who watched it said that that was the best show of the year. The Penguin. At 11, not even getting into the top 10. What are we doing out here? But hey, at least it's not, or at least it has the distinction of being the best performing Batman related TV series this year. You take the victories where you can get them. X-Men 97 at 10. Better than House of the Dragon? Better than The Penguin? Nah. Better than The Acolyte? Well, yeah, shit I just took is better than The Acolyte. Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I mean, Donald Glover is arguably one of the most overrated actors I have ever seen in my entire life. And I heard nothing but bad things about this retelling of an already tried story. So no, it was probably ass. Baby Reindeer. Well, this was a phenomenon over the summer, but it's crazy because actually the controversy ended up eclipsing any talk of the show. So I don't actually know what it's about, really, nor do I really care. All I know that it was super popular. So yeah, okay. Silo Season 2, kind of a, smart take on Fallout, so that kind of makes sense why that's up there. Slow Horses Season 4. Well, anything that has Gary Oldman deserves to be high on the list anywhere, so I'm not going to be too terribly plussed about that. And then, oh boy, one of the biggest downgrades you're likely to ever see, Arcane Season 2. I watched a fair amount of coverage on Arcane Season 1 all the way back in 2021, and you know what, from what I've seen, because I don't have Netflix and nor am I going to sign up for it anytime soon, Arcane Season 1 seemed like the masterpiece everybody was, pointing it out to be. From what I can tell, from the clips that I seen, from the performances that I listened to, I mean, it was fantastic. To contrast that with Season 2 and just the absolute absurdity, which everybody just simply admits, oh, it was just rushed. That's just bad criticism, because even rushing through a story, you don't have to write it in crayon. You don't have to gloss over Jinx being a mass murderer, only to just get her to be the ultimate hero of the League of Legends cinematic universe that you guys are trying to create. What a disaster. Yeah, the animation looked good, but it was all propped up by a multiverse nonsense story that Season 1 culminated with a battle between the downtrodden and the upper class, and Season 2 ended with fighting Space Jesus. I wish I was joking. What a disaster that ended up being. Shogun, I hear great things about that. If there's any TV series on this list that I'm actually interested in watching, yeah, it's definitely Shogun. I like the feudal Japanese aesthetic. I ain't no weeb or anything like that, but I hear great things about the show, and the fact that it won just about everything is hilarious. And a True Detective Night Country, I could tell you everything that I know about this, but if you want to know more about this absolute abomination of television, just simply search Reaper Critical Drinker Rant. Just do that. Just do that. Reaper, the YouTuber Reaper, breaks this down as he watched every single episode of this, and it'll break your mind like very few things can. What are we doing here? And then we got Fallout, and I can point you in the direction of another video that's out there. Mahler put out a 2.5-hour long video as to why this is the absolute dumbest show on television, but according to Games Radar, the second best TV series of the year. Now, I bet you're thinking, now we're at the close of this list, and we've pretty much named everything that you can think of this year that is worthy of said accolades. What's left? What is out there? What is the best series of the year? I shit you not. Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. What the fuck, man? The dumbest show I have ever seen in my entire life is your series of the year, the 2024 TV show of the year. Darker and more intense than season 1. The Rings of Power season 2 returned us to Middle-earth in turmoil. Sauron has risen again, and darkness is threatening to fall across the land. Season 1 is on an absolutely massive scale, but season 2 somehow finds a way to go even bigger. Yeah, so big, in fact, that you need to dam the river around the story by shooting a trebuchet at a mountain range and knocking rocks off so you could perfectly dam the river. Is so fucking dumb. This is the stupidest show I've ever heard my entire life. And nowhere is that more apparent than Middle-earth shaking Siege of Eregion. Yeah, where there's like 11 elves that are defending the entire city that just magically grew walls around it in between seasons. You won't see a better episode of TV this year than Doomed to Die, the 7th episode of season 2. Hilarious. Just before I recorded this, okay, before I did my batch recording on the day, I was actually re-listening, I think like the 4th or 5th time to EFAP, breaking down, episodes 7 and 8, and Doomed to Die with some of the worst fight choreography you are likely to ever see. Yeah, that previously mentioned shooting a trebuchet at a mountain range, that takes place in the first couple of minutes of that episode. Just how on earth you can get into a region no mental map has ever been discovered. The use of one of the dumbest siege engines imaginable, where you hammer stakes into a wall and then it's supposed to act like a reverse crossbow where it tries to pull the wall apart at the weakest part of the wall, and then that doesn't even take into account the stupid character interactions. Where Celebrimbor, the greatest of elven smiths, okay, shackled, clapped in manacles, okay, in his forge, okay, with all of his tools at the ready. And how does he get out of said handcuffs? With all of the shears, all of the pliers, everything at his disposal. Yeah, in order to slip out of his shed constraints, he chops off his thumb. Is the stupidest show of the year. It should be on nobody's top list unless we're ranking trash. And even still, I can make an argument for the Acolytes. So yeah, when I eventually get around to ranking media or however I want to do it, you can guarantee, unless we're talking about laughs per minute, The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power will be nowhere near the top of that list. And bro, this is a reason why legacy media is dying and is going to look even more fractured in 2024 than it is in the dying days of 2024. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.